to the show. Guys, check this out. This is an older article. This is going from 1996, but it's current. It's current. It's a current up to date because this man is, he's granted parole. Um, this story going back 96. Man who beheaded teen in 1996, granted parole, guys. Let's get into the story and let's read. Not read. Let's show you this video, guys. Let's get into this video, and here we go.
1997, a jury convicted 16-year-old Federico Kiko Cruz of first-degree murder for the savage beating and beheading of a Grand Rapids area teenager named David Crawford. Cruz was sentenced to mandatory life in prison.
But that sentence was upended when the U.S. Supreme Court struck down mandatory life for juveniles. Now, according to the Michigan Department of Corrections, Cruz has been granted parole.
News 8's Adriana Doria went to Sparta and talked with neighbors who wonder why this is happening.
It's just a kick in the gut when somebody can do something like that. David doesn't get a second chance, but Kiko does. How is that?
Jason Saygraves was just 12 years old and lived right next door to the terror. And now, nearly 30 years later, it's something he says he can't forget.
I saw some stuff in that situation that still sticks with me. You can't mentally heal from that.
Federico Kiko Cruz was 16 when he killed 17-year-old David Crawford, severed his head, and recorded himself mutilating the remains.
But I don't know as I'd call it.
Wow, that's 29 years ago. Wow.
Ritualistic or satanic at this stage of the game, but it was bizarre to say the least.
Convicted in 1997, Cruz has been serving life without parole at the Handlin Correctional Facility in Ionia. It seemed that even after the nation's high court struck down mandatory life for juveniles, Cruz would never get out.
I never thought in a million years he would get out after what he did.
In 2016, the Kent County Prosecutor's Office filed motions to impose sentences on 13 defendants serving life terms for murder committed as teens. Prosecutor Chris Becker said Cruz topped the list. In November of 2018, a judge ruled that the, quote, savage butchery of the crime and a history of antisocial behavior precludes Federico Cruz from ever leaving prison. But in August of 2023, Cruz was given a shorter prison sentence and an opportunity.
Keep in mind that this man spent almost 27, 29 years in prison already, guys. Keep that in mind. So he cannot be double sentenced.
Opportunity for release.
The violence of this crime at 16 years old, and it's just not right. It's just not safe.
Cruz is now 45 years old and has been in prison for about 27 years. He's expected to get out of prison at the end of March.
I feel so horrible for the Crawfords because of the pain and suffering they have experienced because of what I did.
Despite the decades of time that have passed in Sparta, this crime's still very fresh for this community. Neighbors saying knowing Cruz will be back out brings them right back to that terrifying time.
It's his fault. He doesn't need to be out. He doesn't need to be. There's no good that's going to come from it.
Feelings not shared with everyone in that neighborhood.
Hope the best for the guy, He was young. We all made stupid mistakes when we were kids. And, this one's hard to take, but he, definitely can be forgiven, I believe.
It's now a waiting game.
And also I heard there is some violation of his human rights. People, so we have to take all that in consideration. And we know that was a egregious crime, guys, but keep in mind, this man spent 27 to 29, almost 30 years in prison already. So we have to keep that in mind, guys. We know for him, if he stay in prison, that's not going to bring the victim back. Let's be clear about that. You know what I mean? Let's be clear, guys. Keep in mind that Federico Cruz struggled with mental illness, according to the gentleman in the video, that satanic mental. And don't think this man just going to come out of prison and just let loose in the community. No. And I'm sure, I'm looking at this man, I'm reading, discern that he's remorseful, guys. You know, we know nothing going to bring his victim back. We know that. And, you know, mental issue is one of the biggest issues in the United States right now. Mental issue that need to be, you know, we need to take a deeper look. And that was 29 years ago, mental health. And I'm sure, you know, they came a long way, you know, to do a lot of studying, you know what I mean? But I'm sure, you know, he's not just going to be out. He's going to get proper, you know, probably going to be in a halfway house, you know, controlled environment, you know, all those things, guys. But 29 years in prison, guys, almost 29, 30 years. That's a long time. Have his whole adult life, teenager, young man, adult, he'd been in prison, guys. And it seemed to me that, you know, God, man, it's a very, very difficult situation to be in, man. We just got to pray for these people, for the Creator just to give a healing. You know, when you look at it, man, no winners in this situation, guys. You think because he did his time in prison that, people, let me tell you something. Mental issue is, you know, he's struggling, guys. And I'm sure that they're not just going to let him out in the public. He will get the proper help, and the resource will be there for this man, you know, to take care of his mental status and try to live a productive life. It's not going to bring back his victim, but guys, there is no winner in this situation, guys. No winner, because both, you know, everyone is traumatized in this situation, guys. But you know what I mean? Thanks for joining me, guys. You know what I mean? It's a sad story, but it's reality. These are the things that happen in our world. Thanks for joining. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the platform, guys. Until next time. All right?